don't know if I've heard you, and I'm sure you're like everybody else. Everybody comments on Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation. There's an interesting twist developing. Mary Kay Cabot, the longtime reporter for the Cleveland Browns, she was on a radio interview or a podcast interview yesterday, kind of indicating that by late October, there may be a fourth man in the ring by the name of Deshaun Watson. And let's play this clip of Mary Kay, and then I got a follow-up question for you.
Did you see the latest Deshaun workout video?
Yes, I have. I actually retweeted, put it in a story that I wrote about Deshaun 2 days ago, kind of outlining what is going on with him and what his situation is and what the outlook is with him. So he's coming along. I do know that Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry, and Kevin Stefanski all kind of stood and watched one of those workouts of Deshaun Watson the other day. They liked what they saw from him. They were very encouraged about what's happening with him from a health standpoint. He looks good. You would never know that he had retorn Achilles surgery in January right now. He has to be on PUP for 4 more games. But once you start to get into late October, they're going to have to make a decision on Deshaun Watson. Do they think about activating him, or does he remain on PUP for the rest of the season? So this is going to be something to watch as we approach the trade deadline.
So that to me sounds like the Browns haven't given up on Deshaun Watson, and I'm someone that thinks that they shouldn't. If I've paid a guy this much money and I know he has this much talent, I want final proof that that talent is gone, that his brain has been fried. And so I'm going to run him out there because Joe Flacco's 40 years old, Dylan Gabriel's a midget, and Shedeur Sanders, to me, has a long way to develop before he's ready. So I don't blame the Browns if they haven't given up on Deshaun Watson.
You know what? To me, when you forget what they've given Deshaun Watson already, it's what they're going to give him moving forward. Regardless if Deshaun Watson plays or not, Jason, he's getting paid a lot of money. And so if you're Kevin Stefanski, if you're Jimmy Haslam, specifically Jimmy Haslam, I want to make sure he is completely fried before I move on. And I don't blame him at all. They're going to get this man, I believe, over $100 million moving forward, whether he plays or he doesn't play. And so come October, if the Browns aren't doing well and if things go the way I believe they're going to start on one, the Browns aren't going to have a great year. I would like to see Deshaun Watson play. I wouldn't mind it at all. I wouldn't give up on him either. And there's also a part of me that I really want to see Deshaun Watson play well. I do because he was such a good player with the Houston Texans. And now we can look back and say, oh, that was a dumbass trade. Yes, it was. But going into, and when that trade happened, many people said, whoa, the Cleveland Browns, they're going to be pretty good now with Deshaun Watson. And he has all them cases and he falls out of the public favor because of what is going on. But I would like to just see him be healthy, put your best foot forward. And if he can play, this just adds a wrinkle to the AFC North. It adds a wrinkle to the AFC in general and to football. And so to me, it would be a good storyline.
Final thought as it relates to Browns quarterback situation, just because you're a dad, you had daughters that are great athletes in the softball field. What has been your take on Deion and his handling of Shedeur? As a father, as someone that has raised some great athletes, where have you been on Deion and Shedeur?
Honestly, Jason, because of who Prime is, and you're somebody when his name is Deion and many refer to him as Prime, and everybody knows who you're talking about. Because of who he is as a person and who he was as a player, he he can do and say things that other athletes you just can't do and say, and it's not a big thing. He's coached Shedeur pretty much the entirety of his life as a football player. This is Shedeur's first year not having his father as a coach. And as a dad, we all want our kids to succeed. When you're a man, and Jason, you don't have children, and I have one son, 3 daughters, 1 son, and I truly believe fathers, there's only one person walking this earth that I want to be better than me. And I wholeheartedly hope that happens, and that's my son. Like, I want others to do well. Do we want people to be better and do better than us? No, we don't. We always say we do. No, you don't. But my son, man, I hope you're better than me in every facet of life. And that's what Prime wants for his kids. So I don't fault him for doing and saying certain things, because when you have children, you want everything for them. And you want them to be better than you. And if you got to go talk it, like Shedeur can play football. Is there some things he needs to work on? Yes. Can Deion talk his way into having Shedeur on the field? No. Shedeur's going to have to do it. And Deion hopes and prays that Shedeur is better than him. Will that happen? That's very hard. But I don't fault him, because being a father, I want the best for my kids in every situation, in school, in life, in relationships. And when you have kids, I think people that are parents understand where I'm coming from. It's nothing like having children. I'll do anything for my kids. I mean anything.
How do you balance, though, TJ? Because you're the perfect example of this. I was talking about this earlier this week or late last week. TJ Houshmandzadeh is the definition of getting it out the mud. And that is part of your journey and what made you a competitor and made you successful. And it feels like when you become successful, like TJ Houshmandzadeh and certainly Deion on his level, as a father, how do you know, hold on, man, there's got to be some mud here, or he's not going to be better than me. If I remove all the mud, I'm going to get a softer version of TJ Houshmandzadeh. How do you balance that?
That's tough, because when you're Deion, your kids aren't getting it out the mud. It's impossible, because you got it out the mud so they don't have to walk through what you've walked through. I've already gone through the fire, so you don't have to walk through it. Now, growing up, I do have to present you with certain things. You're not just going to get everything you ask for. You're going to have to earn and work for this. But it's a fine line. When you don't come from much, at least for me, I come from nothing. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm not just talking. They know where I come from. Literally nothing. Kerosene lamps around the house. Mama's on drugs. We have no lights, nothing. And so I got to go take care of everybody. And I'm 13 years old. I couldn't imagine my son taking care of me, and he was 13, but that's what I had to do. Deion, you do want your kids to have some type of adversity, but what type of adversity are they going through when you've gone through the adversity for them in your life so they don't have to? And so you can just try to challenge him as much as possible and hope the upbringing doesn't give him a sense of entitlement, a sense of, I'm going to get this because of my father. And we just hope, and just being, and I don't know Shedeur. I've met him once. Me and Prime are cool, but we aren't the best of friends. Like, if we see each other, we'll say what's up, but I don't call Prime, and vice versa. Shedeur seems like a good kid. He really does. He seems like a good-hearted person, and that's all I care about. Treat people. I tell my son this every single day. You better treat people how you want to be treated, period. And only time you don't is when they give you a reason not to. And as long as you do that as a human being, that's all I care about. And I believe that that's what Shedeur is. He's a good human being. On the football field, that's to be determined.
Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.